Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sashi Mohan, Associate Professor, Department of Philosophy, Disco College. Today I'm going to talk about environmental ethics, its debates and some dimensions. So let's start uh, about the talk about what environmental ethics is. But before that, I like to clear something about. In my deliberations, I will leave some questions because most of the ethical norms are not imposed, rather they are self-imposed. I will try to bring out these issues, uh, though there are two aspects, Western and Indian, but I will try to bring out these issues from Western perspective only. Now, let us start about the initiation of environmental ethics. Environmental ethics actually started in early 70s when Russell Carson wrote a book, Silent Spring, that has a great impact. In the same way, Paul Ehrlich's population bomb and the celebration of Earth Day on 22nd April 1971, then United Nations Environmental Conference, Stockholm 1972. These are the important facts why environmental ethics, from where environmental ethics started. Now, in environmental ethics, there are three important things. One is the environment itself, then the environmental ethics, and then the environmental philosophy. Now, what is environment? Everybody know it about environment. Everything around humans, which is not strictly man-made, including wild animal, fields, channels, even cities, etc., are considered as environment. On the other hand, environmental ethics is one's treatment towards natural entities. What sorts of relationship with nature humans should have? That is a question about environmental ethics. In the same way, what is the moral standing of natural entities? That is the vital question in environmental ethics. On the other hand, environmental philosophy deals with questions: what can humans know about environmental entities? That is an epistemological aspect of environmental philosophy. Can these entities know themselves? Are they rational like humans? Then what are the modes of their existence? That is a metaphysical question of environmental philosophy. Now, what is environmental ethics? I'll just try to give a very small definition. And environmental ethics is a part of practical ethics which examines the moral basis of environmental or man's responsibility towards nature. Now, what are the main issues of environmental ethics? The main issues are our treatment and relation with land, forest, animals, trees, river, seas, space, and air. It means everything included. Now, what another issues, important issues of environmental ethics? The main task of environmental ethics is to think about the future generation. I mean, what we have taken from environment, will future generation miss it? What is the ultimate ground of affirmation to protect the environment? Does the future generation have the right to avail a clean and natural environment when their time comes? Now, there are some basic debates related to environmental ethics. These are: why do we need ethics for environmental protection? This is the first debate. Then the second one is nature given or constructed? And the third one is there any right of nature, animals, or plants? Now, the basic question, the key question of environmental ethics is what are the things that have value? Then, what is the nature of value do these things have? And what is the source of such value? It may be subjective or it may be objective. Now, when we talk about value, we have different value-centric terminology. Philosophers often speak of intrinsic value, inherent value, extrinsic value, instrumental value, non-instrumental value, value as an aim, and final value, etc. If we go to G. Moore, in his Principia Ethica, he asserts that what is common and peculiar to all ethical judgments is the concept of good. Later on, Moore calls it intrinsic value. If we go to Sisom's view, R.M. Sisom's view, all intrinsic value concepts may be analyzed in terms of intrinsic preferability. For example, pleasure is preferable to pain. Now, there are two basic theories when we talk about environmental ethics. One is anthropocentrism, which is considered as subjective approach, and the other is non-anthropocentrism, which is considered as subjective-objective dichotomy. However, they differ in many aspects. Now, let us first talk about anthropocentrism. Only humans have an intrinsic value. All other creatures, places, and processes have value instrumental to human welfare. And this is propagated by Protagoras, Plato, Aristotle, Thomas Aquinas, and Christianity. Then the other side, there is another approach towards environment, which is called non-anthropocentrism. It means that other entities than human have also intrinsic value, and this is propagated by Aldo Leopold, Ardennes, Home Rollstone Tree, Tom Regan, Ernest Patrice, Ben Bradley, Edwin C. Hargrove. Now, there are two directions to ascribe intrinsic value to nature. The first is the evaluator-centric. It means that value is never found in objects in itself as property. It consists in a relation to an appreciating mind. And the second one is non-evaluator-centric. It means that nature has its own value of its own without any consideration of an evaluator. Now, what is the relationship between man with nature? Now, to deal with, there are three basic types of relation between humanity and nature. The first one is mastery over nature. The second one is harmony with nature. And the third one is subjugation to nature. The mastery over nature means the human is the superior being than the other animals. And harmony with nature means that we all are equal. And subjugation to nature means that we are subjugate to the nature. Now, the main task of environmental ethics is the extension of morality towards non-natural entities. Now, to what extent of the nature environment is to be accorded intrinsic value and consequently moral worth? That is the central question of environmental ethics. And what is the criterion of according moral value? These two questions lead us to think about moral standing of non-human world. Now, when we talk about biotic right, everything on this planet, including soil and water, is ecologically equal to man and shares equal in the right to continued existence. This extension of ethics to this third element in human environment is an evolutionary possibility and ecological necessity that is given by Aldo Leopold in his San County Almanac. Now, when I talk about biotic right, again, there is no better evidence of non-human values and valuers than spontaneous wildlife born free and live on its own. That is given by Holmes Rollstone. Now, let us talk about the moral extension. To the question, what good is it? One famous American biologist, Edwin P. Pfister, replied, "What good are you?" The answer forces the questioner to confront the fact that he or she regards his or her own total value to exceed his or her instrumental value. Other beings are other beings superior? That is another question. Now, Paul Taylor he said that we ascribe intrinsic value to humans. We must ascribe intrinsic value to all other living beings, for the sense that there is no really rational basis to accept human as superior to other beings. Humans are superior to other beings because of reason is factually incorrect. Now, there are certain arguments regarding the moral extension. The first one is that moral concern deserves for anyone who has an interest in or desire for their own well-being. Humans show a desire for their own well-being, and thus they deserve moral respect. That is, the well-being of other beings ought to be respected and protected because these other beings have a desire for their own well-being just as we do. Again, humans are not only entities possessing such interest or desires, other beings also show a desiring interest in their own well-being, and thus they too deserve moral respect as just as humans. Now, if we see this chart, then we can say that intrinsic value can be accorded according to the different theories in the following manners. For example, anthropocentrism says that human beings have intrinsic value. Scientificism has intrinsic value. Biocentrism says that human has intrinsic value, and ecocentrism also says that human has value. Now, when we talk about sentient elements, anthropocentric approach says that there is no intrinsic value in sentient elements. Only scientificism says that sentient animals has intrinsic value. Biocentrism says that sentient animals have intrinsic value, and ecocentrism also agree that sentient animals have intrinsic value. Considering non-sentient organisms, anthropocentric approach deny the existence of an intrinsic value in non-sentient organism. In the same way, scientificism also deny the non-sentient organism has intrinsic value. But biocentrism and ecocentrism both agree that non-sentient organisms have intrinsic value. Now, when we talk about species and ecosystems, anthropocentrism, scientificism, and biocentrism, these three theories do not agree the existence of intrinsic value in species and ecosystem. However, ecocentrism accepts that species and ecosystem have also intrinsic value. Now, if we proceed further, then we find value in human conscious experiences. We cannot deny that there is value at least some experiences of non-human beings. To extend an ethic in a plausible way beyond sentient beings is a difficult task because it might be thought that if we limit ourselves to living things, the answer is not difficult to find. But the attempts and approaches to ascribe intrinsic value beyond sentient beings have opened up some new dimensions in the domain of environmental ethics. Again, nature is valuable because what it is, not because of its relation with us. The value in nature is objective in the sense that it is not a matter of individual taste or personal preferences. So this is what I have discussed today about environmental ethics. some debates and dimensions I have already discussed from Western perspective. Thank you. Thank you very much.